Hello and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. My name is Tony King. I'm a photographer, and here we are at another monthly review for the month of August 2025. Might be a bit behind on uploading these, but you know, I started this throughout the year, so we're still catching up. Hopefully at some point I'll be fully caught up and you're seeing, you know, this month from the last month. But anyway, you can watch a YouTube video at any point in time, so doesn't matter. August was a solid month for me as a photographer. I made 13 photo albums, which equates to more or less 13 times going out to shoot, but it's actually a little misleading because on a couple walks, I've made more than one photo album at a time, but I also got a couple gigs that month that of course I didn't, share on YouTube. So it was a good month for me as a photographer. In the first month, which I had a new camera, which is my Olympus EM1 Mark III, which has been kind of my go-to camera these days and the biggest upgrade I've ever made in my photography career. Let's jump right into it. One of the first times I actually got in the camera like 2 days prior. Then I went out to shoot some amputee soccer, and I have a photo here of this young kid who is an amputee celebrating scoring a goal. And I think just the pure emotion, joy of this image, and even of the kid in the back and the young lady in the back behind him is really beautiful to me, and kind of the whole point of what that event and soccer practice and group is about, that I really feel like I encapsulated such a positive feeling in this image, and I'm very happy with it. I went on a photo walk at Westview Cemetery, which is a famous place here around Atlanta where they've shot some movies and all this and that and the third. And this is an image I really liked where I'm shooting through a bush at kind of the architecture of the Abbey itself, like the mausoleum kind of interior. And I was really happy with the color values. And as you'll see throughout different monthly reviews, I've definitely learned how to use the camera and kind of gotten a sense of how it takes in color. This was still at the very start. I was shooting automatic. I shoot manual now, but I'm very happy with the composition of this image and the soft focus on the leaves at the front. Positive note for me is a couple other images that I took at the Abbey, at the cemetery, were selected to be in their annual calendar. So that's kind of cool for me. I went on a little trip to Mississippi to visit some family, and I found this pier. And if you know anything about me, you know I like going to piers for photography. And there was these two, I want to say they were like college age guys going out to fish on these rocks, and I'm standing on like the proper pier at this point. And I really like how you can see the direction of the wind in the kid's shirt and in the waves, and how it's like looking at a distance at a genuine moment of true friendship, which I just think is, it's very important to me. I've got lifelong friends, and to kind of encapsulate an image that's like looking at that from a distance, is kind of looking back at myself in the past, not necessarily fishing per se, but there's kind of a personal feel to this image for me. And I was happy with the composition, and I like how the orange shirt sticks out, but the other guy's blue shirt kind of blends into the background. So I was very happy with this image. Also at that same pier, there was all these birds fighting. There was someone like left a whole loaf of bread on the ground by the trash can, and they were all fighting over it. I was like, there's plenty enough to feed generations of you guys, but they would fly around and then fly away. And this was a cool shot that I got of a couple of the birds were like looking down from this light pole and taking off. So here, these are three distinct birds, but it kind of almost lines up in a way that it looks like the one on the left is the one in the middle, and on the right, kind of a progression here, but it is three birds. And I like how the different lines that I've got in the composition with the telephone wire and the light are kind of separating different parts of the frame. And it's an action shot, pretty sharp. It's not perfectly sharp on the birds, but I was happy with the shot. There's a story there and something kind of interesting about this image. Again, still on that trip, I learned that I could do astrophotography on my new camera, and so I wanted to go try it. It's something that I've wanted to try for a while. Never really felt like I had the right setup or anything, and Anyway, I'm using a 50mm lens here, which is, I don't think it's very standard or common in astrophotography, but I went out for it. I took so many tries just to get this, and it's all right. Like it's not gonna win any awards. It's not even like anyone who does astrophotography wouldn't really be proud of it. But for myself, it's my first go at it. You can see the Milky Way a little bit there, and you can see all these stars. It's my first go at it, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and it, you know, made me excited to want to try it again. I have since then, and I'm going to keep working on this side of things. I'm not a niched up photographer, so I just want to be able to do a little bit of everything, and that's what I find joy in. So with my new camera, I've started to feel like a warmthness of colors, and I went to Piedmont Park here in Atlanta to practice some photography, and I found this image of that little bridge and the gazebo over the water, and I really like the warmth of colors that came out of the camera and how I have the settings set up. I don't really edit my photos too much, so this is more or less kind of how it came out of the camera with some minor tweaking to like make it slightly more vibrant. I like framing it over this like silhouetted tree but you can perfectly see the whole bridge and the gazebo. I was actually trying to get a picture of this guy walking across the bridge that I could definitely see better with my own eyes than the camera could see. He's really small in the picture. Overall, I feel like if you're thinking of Piedmont Park in Atlanta, this is a pretty cool shot of the gazebo and the bridge. And a personal favorite for me, my beautiful wife, I was practicing some portraiture, and I got her through these nice leaves, and one cutting across her face. It's like almost like an addition to her bangs, but you can see both her eyes. You can see her loving expression. On the right of the image, there's like this bright spot, and it almost looks like a flare or something, but it's not. I don't know. It's something kind of dynamic about this image. And of course, I love my wife, so this image is special to me, and a picture I really like of my wife that I took in August. And those are the 7 images that I'm selected for my monthly review of August. It was a pretty good month for me, starting out with the new camera. It only gets better from there. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like the camera itself doesn't mean much, but if it's a tool that helps you achieve your vision better, faster, or yeah, just better, it was a really good upgrade for me. So I think I'm able to capture a little bit more of what I had in my head with this camera, and you'll see that in other monthly reviews if you stay tuned with it. And all the work that I've done throughout the year in other videos that I talk about, from trips to Venice to Croatia to sports, having a camera that can shoot so fast and at high quality has really broadened the horizons of what I'm able to do in this craft, and I'm very pleased with that. So without further ado, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Stay tuned for some more monthly reviews, but like I said, all sorts of photography content. I'm really enjoying kind of talking through my own work in my process. I've talked about gear. I've talked about just about everything photography wise, and I will keep doing so. So if you like it, stay tuned, and I appreciate it. I've been Tony King.